Hello everyone, welcome to my morning video. I've had a swim this morning, hence the straighter looking hair, and really feeling the dark mornings this morning. Well, this week actually. It feels like they've really started to come on top of us now. So hello, whoever's here. So I wanted to have a little bit more of a serious chat this morning behind my blue hair. And as always, love to have your views and your input. If I don't fall asleep on you all, because I'm feeling quite tired after my big long swim. Anyway, so what's this going on? So, as many of you know, hello Steve. Hello Michael. I haven't seen you for a while. So, as many of you know, my book is out. On the 18th, although I know some of you have also already got your hands on it. On the 18th is my official launch. I wanted to have a little bit of a chat with you about what's behind the story behind my story. And I kind of would really appreciate some shares on this because I am on a mission. I'm on a really big mission in my own mind to support mental health. The mental health services in the UK are absolutely crap. And that's not just for adults, it's for children. And for me, the reason behind my book is that I'm on a mission to support from more of a creative aspect, because not a place of medication, not even necessarily a place of talk therapy, but a place of creation. And to me, that's understanding who you are. So I'm going to bring in all my aspects of yoga, all the things that I've learned in my 49 years as from Thursday. And really looked at this during COVID when I lost my work in a mental health hospital. As many of you know, I worked with addiction, I worked with mental health addicts, teaching yoga nidra, and have done for 20 plus years. I lost my job during COVID, which, at the time, I know so many of you were so supportive that during that time and sort of said to me, it's shit that happened. And really, it is shit that it happened, because those services were dropped, not just me personally, but for all those people that offered massage, therapy, all those kind of things that support our mental health when we're not feeling very good. Or they were all dropped, and these are things that are needed. They are needed. The massage, the therapies, the yoga, all this stuff is needed to create a holistic lifestyle. It's not something that we might want. It's something that is needed. And I will continue to say that, because not everybody who suffers from mental illness, and me being one of them, who has done and does, and I do believe that when you have mental illness, you do have, a tendency to have the ability to go there. But the thing is, you have the tools, and I'm very grateful that I have the tools to be able to support my mental health. I've never once ever turned away from the fact that I've had mental illness, and I believe that that's the big thing now. People need to speak up about it, and they do much more. So just as a little bit of statistical stuff, and I don't do statistics very much, but I do believe that we do need to look at these statistics to actually go, wow, this is a big thing. Youngminds.org.uk put some statistics out that in 2020 it was 1 to 6 children between the age of 5 to 16 were suffering from mental illness, and that was a difference between 1 to 17 in 2017 of the same age, 5 to 16. Now that is way too bloody high, way too high. And we're talking about we're not just talking about having the odd bad day. We're talking about, suicidal tendencies and these kind of things. And it's, yes, we all get bad days. But that doesn't mean we suffer from depression. And there's one thing that happens when people suffer from depression is they're often told to get on with their life and you're having a good life. What's wrong with you? You've got everything around you, and it doesn't matter what age. And you're told that, and it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing that anybody can say to somebody who suffers from depression, is that get on with your day. You've got everything around you. You've got a wonderful family. You've got your health, and that's not what we need to hear. People who suffer. So, my idea behind my book was to create a space for children, and it's a quirky little book that I created for children, for schools, for communities, to be able to take this little story that is basically my story as a young child who suffered from melancholiness and what I know now as depression and a severe eating disorder, and walk them through that space of where I went in my head. And I used to go into my head, and I'm sure many of you did. And my head was the place where I escaped to. That was my imagination. That's where my colour was. And you'll see within the book that I'm not allowed to show it at the moment because I know some of you have seen it, but I'm not allowed to show it because I'll get told off. It's the colour that's there that Monica created was the whole idea behind it was to produce it with colour, because even though I'm in black today, I wanted there to be that aspect, because my life is always filled with colour, especially in my head. And I take the child through that journey without giving too much away, and we go into colour healing, colour therapy, what in a simple way as how colour works for us. And I talk about that within the book. And I also, as an aurosoma therapist for many years, so I have colour therapy behind me, if you're wondering if I've got a certification, and I take the children through that, as well as the conscious and the subconscious mind, and how that works, and how we can talk about that. So the idea within this book is not just to read it. There are meditations in there are spaces to draw and to write and create, and I'll show you more about that in the next week. And the launch date is on the 18th. It's moved from my birthday on Thursday to the 18th. But I'm going to show you everything that is there, that you can draw, that you can create, that the kids can do. And this book isn't just about kids, it's also about you, because to me, if I had this book, and it's very hard for me not to want to pick it up right now because it's right next to me and go, ah! But if I had this book when I was a kid, my book that I've written, I would have gone, okay, somebody understands me. Somebody understands that it's okay for me to be myself, that it's okay for me to escape into my imagination. It's okay for me to think outside the box. It's, and all those things that we wanted to do. Maybe as children who were brought up in the 80s. And, when I was in hospital with anorexia, and I've mentioned this a few times, there was nothing for me other than the fact that I was kept in a room, made to eat, and told that if I didn't eat, then I would be put on an intravenous drip. Now today, things have changed, and there are spaces, and there are talking therapies, and there are loads of things, but there wasn't even talking therapy for us, for us kids when we were going through these different kinds of mental illnesses, which were looked at as strange and weird in the 80s. Now there is support, but still not enough support. And for me, the whole idea behind mental illness is that it's that acceptance of allowing ourselves to be who we are. And when we start to understand who and what we are, and that is a journey, it is a journey for everybody, then we can start to accept ourselves and every single part of us. So the lightness, the darkness, whatever it is that, thank you, is there. It's whole. You're able to say, well, sod it. If you don't like that part of me, that's who I am. That's what I am. And honour that. Now, kids need to know that. Kids need to know at home, at school, in the community, that it is, you can see I'm passionate, that it is okay to have these parts of them. whether they suffer with, I'm not a label person. I'm just not somebody who puts labels on anybody. I would probably be cast as bipolar, and I'm not kidding. That's probably what the diagnosis would be for me. But I refuse to get myself certified as somebody with it, because I don't want a label. Because to me, labels don't work. For some people, labels work because they like to acknowledge that is, you know, where they can work from. And I understand that, and I get it. But the fact is, I don't work that way because I've been brought up with yoga, so it's a very different way of being. And yoga means to bring together, to yoke, to form. You know, if you look at an egg, I always think of yoga like an egg. It's got a yellow and a white, and those two come together to create the whole egg. And yoga's like that, to bring together, to yoke. And we bring every aspect of our life together, and we form us. This is us. This is who we are. Warts and all, shadows, light, the lot. You cannot have the light without the dark, and vice versa. And that's just the way it is. And it's all about acceptance. So my mission is with this book. It's not just a book that I'm putting out there. And also it's to work with other authors, because like Linda, and wonderful Linda, who has worked with me on this as well, is that we are on a mission to actually support children with mental health, to help them to understand that it's okay to be who you are. And obviously with social media and all those things, children are very much starting to think about, on the outside, this is how I need to be. And it's not about that. It's about knowing what's going on in here. And can you imagine what it would be like to be a child now? And I've often thought about this, how it would feel to be a child now. And I would hate it, because I can't imagine, to me, you know, there's so much opportunity, but yet there's so much pressure. And if I had been a child now, like the child I was then, I honestly don't think I would have survived it, because, you know, I barely survived it in the 80s. So now I look at it and think, wow, they're so strong. These children are so strong, because when you think about COVID and what went on through COVID, which was when I wrote My Best Friend's a Superhero, it's like they went through so much. I'm in school, I'm out of school, and I just think, God, how the hell did they do that? You know, that sort of insecurity of being in and out, being there, not being there. I mean, and I said that all along. I just kept on saying, I take my hats off to these children who have the ability to be able to be in school, not be in school, pulled and pushed. And I think, I don't know how they do it, or they did it, because I don't know. I don't know if I could have. If you're making comments, I can't see them, so I'm not being ignorant, and I will answer them afterwards. I don't know whether it's just my phone. So to me, when I created the book, it was more about, you know, being able to, from a space of creativeness, was to open this conversation up that's in the book to children, to their families, and to, you know, their teachers. So I want to get into schools. I want to do self-discovery and self-appreciation workshops, which is what I'm calling them, because that's what they are. Children need to start to appreciate who they are. The self-worth is so low within kids, and I see that every single day, that their self-worth is so damn low that they've also come to a point where they believe this is normal. And this is a lot of the time, sadly, to do with the fact that their world is so outside of themselves, that they need to look like that one, that they need to look like that one, that they need to be, you know, on a reality TV show. And I was saying to my youngest daughter the other day that, you know, when in the 80s, a television, I know I keep talking about the 80s, but I was a child of the 80s. Television, to be a star on television, or to be a film star in the 80s, you were looked up to. You'd see these people and you'd think, wow, that's amazing, they're so good, they're so talented. And this is not knocking anybody that does reality TV. I've done it myself. As many of you know, I've been on Blind Date. In 93, I was on Blind Date. So I've done it all. There's not much I haven't done. So, and I won the damn thing. And so, yes, I've had my share in reality TV. But the fact is now, people are putting themselves in these positions to be on reality TV, to make something of themselves that it's not special anymore. It's just nothing. It's just not special, and I believe that real talent isn't necessarily seen. And you know, there's so many beautiful, wonderful, creative people out there that need to be honoured, and that includes our children. You know, we need to see that, and we need to honour that. So that's my passionate mission. That's heading everybody's way in the next few months. I'm wondering if there's anything else that I had to say here. I've got stuff on a piece of paper that I've not looked at any of it. But if you've got anything to say to me, add to it, and your views. I'm really interested to hear with your children. You know, the book is, for me, you know, people said to me, you know, what age group is it for? And God, you know, I have to be different. You know, when I'm reading it, you know, I would say, okay, 8 to 12-year-old. And then I think to myself, well, it's for anybody who has the need or want to play. It's for anybody who is in a situation where they're an empath, where they're sensitive, where there's somebody who maybe doesn't quite understand who they are, who wants something to be able to look at and go, okay, I am different and somebody sees me here, you know. And so to me, the book's for anybody. You know, I can take the book and play in it. I can take the book and download my meditation and listen to myself. You know, so to me, I'm going to encourage parents to also do the book with their kids, because how many parents have actually worked on you know, their superpowers, and you know, looked at who they really are and what they're really about. I don't think many, you know. I didn't. I mean, I know now, but I did that through COVID. So, you know, it's just opening the door to your creativity, your talents as parents, as teachers, and obviously, firstly, it's created for the kids so that they can grow from that. So, I've said enough now. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. I was quite tired this morning, but now I've blabbed off about everything. I'm feeling quite good, and my swim did me the world of good this morning. You don't usually see me in black up to here, but it was a black morning. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and have a wonderful day. And if you've got any comments, I'm sorry, for some reason they're not coming up, but if they are on the chat, then I will answer them. I'm looking forward to speaking to you all very, very soon. Take care.